Hello everyone. This is the continuation of Unit 2 prefixes and suffixes. Now turn with me to page number 61. We're going to do the exercise which is on task 3. Alright. Task 3, the exercise is complete these sentences choosing from the list of words and phrases above. Whatever you learned, okay, the foreign origin language which we learned in the previous video, we are going to fill up the blanks with those words. Alright. Appropriate words, by the way. The first one is Copernicus proposed that it was the earth that went around the sun and not dash as people had thought so far. People thought that, the earth that went around the sun. People thought the sun was going around the earth, but actually it is the earth that is rotating around the sun. So what do you think is the appropriate word to be filled in that blank here? It is vice versa. Okay, vice versa. The other way around. Okay, it is not what we thought, but it is the other way around. Alright, the earth went around the sun and not the sun went going around the earth. So it is vice versa. Then the next one. In a dash arrangement, in exchange for a donation, the politician may support a law that favors the gun manufacturing company. Now in exchange for donation. Now a politician in exchange for money will do anything for us, isn't it? So exchange something for something. That is what we learnt. The right word to be used here is quid pro quo. Quid pro quo. Alright? And then the third sentence. The president was accused, the national media, of pursuing a dash against him. Holding a grudge against him. What is holding a grudge? Fighting eternally was something that I spoke to you about. The word is vendetta. Vendetta, which is where you are looking to take revenge, where you are holding a grudge. Vendetta. The next one. The restaurant, is it restaurant? It is restaurant. Okay, restaurant. The restaurant has a lavish buffet. Yes, you're right. It is buffet. The restaurant had a lavish buffet with authentic Indian dishes. If you do not like it, you can go for an equally exciting buffet menu of exquisite continental dishes. Now here you can use the word buffet, or you also use a la carte. A la carte. I told you, right? A la carte is, if you don't like any of these, you can order for a variety of dishes and then have them. Or maybe you can go for another buffet, which is, has a good nice spread there. Okay? And then the next one. The next one is, the teacher made an inappropriate racial remark in the class. The students walked out in protest. Later, the teacher apologized. All the students walked out, which means a group or everyone together. What was the word that we said was right here? It was en masse. En masse. Okay? And then, the fast food giant committed a serious dash when it refused to serve food to a man clad in shirt and lungi. Okay, a man went to a fast food center in a shirt and a lungi, and the fast food center was not willing to serve the man, right? So what did they do? They committed a fox pass. A fox pass because of his behavior, social behavior. How did he come to that social gathering? He came in a shirt and a lungi. That is his, desire, isn't it? That is his wish. He can come dressed whatever way he wants to. But then the food joint did not want to, supply food to him. So they committed a fox pass. And the next one. We all use dash efficiently on mobile phones. But do you know how to get them on computers? What is this? Emoji. It is not emoji, it is emoji. Emoji, right? And then the actor is known for his dash lines in between the rehearsed dialogues, and his fans love him. Impromptu. Impromptu means something that happens suddenly, instantly. And people like this actor because he does it instantly and suddenly. He does not have to rehearse and practice and then come and deliver his dialogues. Then the next one. We bought a marble replica of Taj Mahal as a, I already told you this. It reminds you of your memorable trip. It is a souvenir. Souvenir. Alright? And then the last one. Many people died in the dash on the shores of the Indian Ocean in 2004. What happened in 2004? They died of tsunami. Right? So it is tsunami. Is that clear? So many people died in the tsunami on the shores of the Indian Ocean in 2004. Guys, this few sentences is not sufficient for you to learn and understand and remember the meanings of the foreign origin words. Please revise them, learn them, and try to remember and recollect whatever you learnt. When somebody gives you a word from a foreign origin, you should be able to immediately give its pronunciation and the meaning. It's very easily given to you in a table. So please read it, revise it once again, and try working out a few more sentences using the words which are of foreign origin. Alright? Okay. Now let's go to the next topic of unit 3 when it comes to grammar. Here it is misplaced modifiers. I'll put it on the board. It is called misplaced modifiers. Misplaced modifiers. This is the topic. Alright? Misplaced. Now what is the meaning of misplaced? Misplaced is misplacing something. Placing it at some other place. You are misplacing. Modify. What is the meaning of modify? Modify means to change. Okay? To bring about a change. So something that is bringing about a change is actually misplaced. That is what you are going to learn now. It sounds a little confusing, but let me make it very easy for you. I'll put a sentence on the board. Read that sentence so that it will become easy for you to understand. Okay? Now the sentence is, he bought a car. He bought a car for his wife. For his wife. For his wife, he calls Fatty. Don't write down this, just look at the sentence. It says, he bought a car for his wife, he calls Fatty. Now what does the sentence tell you? Yeah? What does the sentence tell you? He bought a car is understood. For whom did he buy a car? For his wife. Whom he calls Fatty. Isn't it? How dare this man call his wife Fatty? Yeah, which wife do you think will keep quiet and she is called Fatty? That is what is implied here in this sentence, isn't it? Now what he actually meant was, I am going to put that on board now. Look at this. He bought a car called Fatty for his wife. Now look at the word fatty here and look at the word fatty here. Yes, look at the words here. Fatty here signifies that he is calling his wife fatty. But the same word fatty here signifies that he is calling his car fatty. Maybe the car was bulky and huge when it came to design, so he was calling it fatty. But earlier what happened? He misplaced it. This word was misplaced at the end instead of here, isn't it? So this is misplaced modifier. Now what happened here? When you change the word fatty from the end to the center, the meaning of the sentence changed, isn't it? The meaning of the sentence changed. Now this is what you are going to learn. Okay, this is what you are going to learn. When you misplace a modifier, what happens to the meaning of the sentence? And when you place it rightly, what happens to the sentence? Okay, this is what you are going to learn. Is that clear? Now if you have your textbooks, turn with me to page number 62 and look at the misplaced modifier here. Yeah, the misplaced modifier, the examples that are given here is, Vedant is an only child. Vedant is an only child. Now what is it signifying? That Vedant is the only child. There are no siblings. Okay, there are no siblings, no brothers, no sisters. He is the only child. Alright. Now the same word only has been used in different methods, giving a change to the meaning of the sentence itself. This is what you're going to learn now. Okay. So look at the sentences which are given there. Here only is a modifier. So you have to identify the word which actually can modify or change the meaning of the sentence. Look at the first one here. It says, only John met Mary in the train yesterday. Which means there were many people traveling with John and Mary, but only John went and met Mary. So is that clear? Only John met Mary, not the Tom, Dick and Harry. Not the other people who were traveling with John. Many people were traveling, but only John went and met Mary. Now look at the second sentence. John met only Mary in the train yesterday. John met only Mary in the train yesterday, which means along with Mary there were many people traveling. But John only met Mary. He did not meet her other friends or relatives who were traveling with her. Okay, now here the word only from the beginning came to the center and the change in the meaning. And then now look at the next one. John met Mary in the only train yesterday. In the only train yesterday means there was only one train yesterday. That only train Mary was traveling. So John went and met Mary in that only train yesterday. Only one train has been, moving yesterday, and so in that one train, that only train, John went and met Mary. Now again the change in the modifier. The moment you change, you move the word only to another place, the meaning of the sentence itself changed. Now this is another one. Yeah. John met Mary in the train only yesterday, which means John did not meet Mary somewhere else. He met her in the train itself. Only in the train. Okay. John met Mary in the train only yesterday. In the train only. He did not have to go to her house and here and there. He met her in the train only. Alright. He did not wait for her to come to a particular place. He met her in the train only. And then the change in the meaning again. The last one. John met Mary in the train yesterday only. Which means you are seeing Mary today, but John met her yesterday only. Now, isn't there a change in the meaning? Every sentence, when the word only is modified, it is changed. From the beginning, it comes to the center. From the center, it comes to the last position. There is a change whenever you are changing the word only, which is the modifier in the sentence. Right? So, this is what you are going to learn. When you are using the modifier in different places, when you are misplacing the modifier, the meaning of the sentences will change. Alright? Now, let's go to the next page. In the next page, you have a task and it says, rewrite these sentences placing the modifier in the right place. The first thing that you have to do is identify the modifier. Identify the modifier. I will identify the modifier for you. Now try changing the modifier's place. Alright. The new students' books were brought online. Now here the modifier is new. The new students' books were bought online. New students are fresh students who are just joining college. That is the meaning. Now change the place of new to another place and change the meaning of the sentence. Let's do it a little later. Let me finish the modifiers first. I ate the lunch that the office boy had brought slowly. I ate the lunch that the office boy had bought slowly. Now here slowly is the modifier. Okay, change the word slowly from the end to somewhere in the beginning or in the center and change the meaning of the sentence. Okay, and then the tone student's book was lying on the desk. The tone student. Now how can you tear a student? You cannot, right? So you have to change the word which is tone. The modifier here is tone. So change the word tone to another place and see the change in the meaning. And then just Simran wanted to say hi to the actor. Just Simran wanted to say hi to the actor. Now here just. Okay, just is the modifier. So change the place of just and you will see a change in the meaning. But do it correctly. The meaning of the sentence should not, should not be incorrect. Okay, and then the next one. He nearly tried to make all of his teachers happy. Here it is nearly. The modifier is nearly. He nearly tried to make all his teachers happy. And then the next sentence is, the children yesterday went to a museum. Now here the modifier is yesterday. The modifier is yesterday. So just take a few minutes and try and see if you can change the modifiers, at least one or two. If not all the 6, at least try changing 1 or 2 words which I have told you are modifiers in the sentence. Try doing it. I'll just give you a minute's time. I don't want you to look at me. I want you to make those sentences in your textbook or at least in your notebook. Okay, let's start with this first sentence. The first sentence is, the new students' books were bought online. So you have to change the modifier new. And how would you make it? The students' new books were bought online. Right? Now students became old and books became new. In the previous sentence, what happened? The students were new. But here, the books have become new when you change the modifier new from the second place to the third place. Alright? Next one. I ate the lunch that the office boy had bought slowly. Now what is this telling? The office boy bought the lunch slowly, and which the lunch that was bought slowly was something that you had eaten. Now the sentence here is, I slowly ate the lunch bought by the office boy. I slowly ate the lunch bought by the office boy. Now what has happened here? The lunch boy is not slow, but you are slow in eating. Or you can also say, I ate slowly. I ate slowly. I ate slowly the lunch that the office boy had bought. So you can write it in two ways. The next one. The tone student's book was lying on the desk. Now what was this here? I said tone is a modifier which you have to change. The student's tone book was lying on the desk. The student's tone book was lying on the desk. And then, just Simran want to say hi to the actor. Now here what is happening is, there are many actors but only Simran. Just Simran wanted to say hi. Okay, that is the meaning. But the moment you change the word just, look at, see what's happening. Simran wanted to say just hi to the actor. She just wanted to say hi to the actor. This is what she means, right? And then, he nearly tried to make all his teachers happy. Okay? Now here, you're going to change the modifier nearly. He tried to make all his teachers nearly happy. He tried to make all his teachers nearly happy. Okay? And the last sentence, the children yesterday went to a museum. Change the word yesterday here. The children, yes, you're right, went to a museum yesterday, right? The children yesterday went to a museum is actually incorrect grammatically also. So you are changing the modifier yesterday and putting it at the last place, making it correct. The children went to a museum yesterday. Fine, is that clear? Okay, now go to task 5. Here it says, explain the differences in meaning among sentences within each set. Now you have to explain the difference in the meaning. The first one, I always focus on dedication to work. I always focus on dedication to work. Now what is the meaning here? That is, you are focusing sometimes. Not all, I always focus on dedication to work is not focusing sometimes. You focus most of the time, but sometimes you don't focus. That is the meaning here. And then, I focus always on dedication to work, which means you do nothing except focusing on work. That is the only thing that you will do every day. Fine? And then, I focus on dedication to work always. I focus on dedication to work always. Now, in the previous sentences, you focused on work. But in this sentence, you've changed the meaning completely. You are focusing on your dedication to work. Okay, from the work, the focus has shifted to dedication. So there is a change in the meaning in all the three sentences. Now look at the second one. Fortunately, Dev has worked on similar projects in the past. Fortunately, Dev has worked on similar projects in the past, which means luckily they worked on similar projects in the past. In the past also they worked on these projects. Then, Dev has fortunately worked on similar projects in the past. Dev has fortunately worked on similar projects in the past, which means he actually had an opportunity to work on similar projects. Yeah, he had an opportunity. He was lucky enough to work on them, right? And then the next one. Dev has worked on similar projects fortunately in the past. Okay, luckily Dev has worked on them in the past. That's why he is able to do the work now. That is the meaning. Okay, it is not new to him. The project is new today, not new to him. Luckily he worked on it earlier also. So he is able to do the work even now. That is the meaning here. Okay, and now look at the next one. Only John can write a novel like this. Only John can write a novel like this, which means other than John, nobody else can write. Only John can write this novel. Only John can write it this way. That is what it means. The next one. John can only write a novel like this. John can only write a novel like this, which means only John can write a novel like this. Okay, the novel is exemplary, it is excellent, it is very good, the script is good, all that is good. Only John can write it like that. That is the meaning here. And finally, the last one. John can write only a novel like this. See, John writes poetry, John writes prose, John writes essays, paragraphs. But here what he is saying, John can write only a novel like this. In this style, the way he has written, he can only write a novel. The same style he cannot use for paragraph writing, essay writing and different other articles that he writes. He can use this style only to write a novel. Look at the word, simple words, when they are misplaced, the meaning of the sentences are changing. So these are modifiers which are misplaced. Now misplaced is giving you a negative impression, but it is not negative. Misplaced modifiers means the word which is termed as a modifier, which you identify as a modifier in your sentence, when it is misplaced from the first place, when it goes to the second, from the second to the third, or from the third to the last, what happens? There is a change in the meaning of the sentences. This is something that you need to understand. Once a modifier is changed, once a modifier is misplaced, the meaning of the sentences also changes. Alright? Okay. I hope you have understood misplaced modifiers. Now I'm going to give you a few examples of misplaced modifiers. Modifiers, words which act as modifiers, which you can actually use it in different meanings when you change its position in a sentence. So take down the words here. The first word, as you already learnt, is only. Only. See, there are around 5 sentences here where the word only was used. Try using only in a few more sentences, or maybe with a totally different sentence. Try using it and try framing sentences using only as a modifier. And then the next one, the first word limiting modifier was only. The next is just, which you already came across, and then almost. Almost is also used as a modifier. Once you change the position of the word almost, the meaning of the sentences change. And then hardly. Hardly is another modifier. At first is another modifier, and finally the last modifier is simply. I'll repeat the modifiers. I want you to write sentences, the way that we have just done in the exercises. Frame 5 sentences using one modifier. The choice is yours when I'm among the 5 modifiers that I'm giving you. The first modifier is only, the second is just, the third is almost, the fourth is hardly, the fifth is at first, and the sixth is simply. Use these words in your sentences and modify the meaning of your sentences by misplacing them in the same sentence. Is that clear? So I'm going to meet you in my next video with another topic of grammar. Thank you so much.